How you doing, everybody? Welcome to Eirerider. My name is Ben. In this video we're looking at something a little bit different today. This is the Yamaha XSR700. It's a take on the original classic, the XS650, and what they've done is they've redesigned it to make it a lot more modern looking, but also integrated its retro styling into the bike. It features a lot of tech and a lot of the technical specifications from the MT-07. So it'll be interesting to see what this bike's specification is going to look like. Hopefully it'll help answer a lot of questions that you guys are probably asking. So in this video we'll go through the bike, we'll start it up, we'll see what it sounds like. I'll go through some of its technical details. If I've missed anything, that's what the description is for. You'll see a link to this bike there. We'll also have a look at its pricing and of course some of its competitors. Overall, I think it's a really attractive looking bike, very retro in relation to its styling, so it'll be interesting to see how they've integrated those modern features into the bike. So stick around. If you enjoy the video, give me a thumbs up. I look forward to any comments you may currently have, and of course if you like these videos, subscribe to the channel. So let's get started. Right, looking at the setup on the front, we've got 17-inch aluminium rims on front and back. Dual disc brake setup on the front, 282mm, and that's mated with ABS unit. Standard telescopic forks. You'll expect suspension travel at about 130mm on the front. Right, on the back here we've got a monocross rear suspension system with a 530mm swing arm, so really short, and that's to compensate for the size of the bike. Disc brake on the back, single caliper as well, and then of course we've got 17-inch on the back here as well, so really nice setup. Nice good tyre as well. We've got Michelin's on this particular bike. Another thing to note is the low slung exhaust system. That is part of the design on the XSR, so consider that when you're looking at the bike based on the style of bike. That's the reason why they put the exhaust system like. So if you are looking at doing an aftermarket exhaust system, consider the design as well when you are changing the exhaust. We come to the engine on this the XSR, and it's a real beaut. It's a 689cc CP2 engine. It's featured on various other models, the MT-07 being one of them, and the Yamaha Éire 700. Really great, versatile engine, gives you excellent, decent performance as well. About 75 brake horsepower, and you're looking about 68 Newton meters. Fuel consumption is about 4.3 litres per 100, which I think is pretty decent for this sort of power plant, and the fuel tank is about 14 litre fuel tank as well, so really nice combination, decent performance, decent size fuel tank, and mated with that you're going to get really good fuel consumption. Another thing to note is the wet weight is 186 kilograms as well, so not too on the heavy side, which I think is great. Ground clearance is about 140mm. Another thing to note is the gearbox. The bike comes with a 6-speed transmission, and that mated with that 68 Newton meters of torque that are available about 6,500 RPM. It's a really great combination, and the bike really performs well. So that's definitely one good plus, is the transmission, the mating of the transmission with this fantastic CP2 engine. Looking at the lighting structure, we've got a classic round headlight. And of course they've integrated LED technology into it, and then you've got the two LED indicators front and right, and then of course at the rear as well. On the rear they've gone for a classic vintage look of the rear lighting cluster, so we've got a round light with LED integrated lighting, and then of course you've got LED indicators left and right. Right, it's time for us to get it started. So we've got the ignition on at the moment, and of course we have our start switch on this side. Right, we're going to look at the seat heights and seating position. So seat height 835mm. I'm about 5'11", for those that like to know. I know sometimes there's some comments out there, people don't know my height, so just to give you some perspective. So let's take a seat and see what you think. Wow, really comfy seat, I think, to start off with. Definitely well cushioned for any rides you might take. Definitely the handlebar setup a lot lower down as well. Nice and comfy. They've got rubber inserts for the foot pegs. Certainly looks like the seating position is a little bit more forward, but everything seems to be in reach. Getting off the bike, no problem at all. Okay, looking at the handlebar setup, very straightforward. On this side here we've got hazards, we've got a cutoff switch and engine start. On the left here we've got our trip info meter that integrates through to the little display here, and then we've got automatic lights, so as soon as you start the bike up the lights come on automatically. We then got indicators, indicator switches, very nice, hooter, and then of course we've got our pass for our high beam flicker. By looking at the display here, now first of all I'm really impressed. It's super bright, which means it's not like the various other monochrome screens where you can barely see. Everything comes out nicely. It's a good font. We've got our display here, we've got our RPM range, digital speedo here, your gear, what gear you're in. We've got fuel tank down here, and then we've got our average fuel consumption. So the button I pointed out earlier, you can see how far you've gone, your average fuel consumption. Obviously that's your low, it's telling you low fuel, and you've got external air temperature and our time. And then of course your speedo. So journey nice and clear. Also around it here, these are your lights, indicators, your high beam, what gear you're in. Obviously as soon as you start the bike on, some lights are going to come on anyway, your ABS. So very clear, very straightforward. Like, I mean, I'm quite impressed with that, considering it is a pretty standard display. Right, let's have a look at the quality test on the bike. So first of all, we're going to check the panels. Everything's nicely put together there. Seats, nice plastics here, nice. Really nice materials, very hard wearing by the looks of it. Bit of plastic on the trim there, yeah. Headlight, very nice. Very nice choice of plastics. It's nice. Come around this side, quite like that mesh on there, very nice. Pretty good materials. There's definitely a blend of the metal plastic finish around there, but I reckon the plastics that they've chosen appear to be very very hard and good hard wearing. So I presume that's obviously they can't be too firm on that, but I think that is pretty good. Right, now we come to the verdict on pricing. The bike starts at 9,700 euros. That's in particular for Ireland, so if you are international, check with your local Yamaha dealer, and of course check the website for pricing and specification. So for 9,700 euros you're getting really a modern retro version of the original XS650. They've integrated new technologies into it, so for instance you've got ABS, you've got a great looking design, obviously fit and finish on the bike, really nice. It throws it into some very interesting competitors though, and it's definitely the more expensive one out of it. So which we're going to move on shortly in relation to competitors, but I think it's a really quality bike. Yamaha really are making some fantastic bikes out there. It shares a lot of components with the MT-07, and I'd say that's where you're probably going to find you're going to have an issue, considering this bike and the MT-07. Yeah, sure, one bike retro style and the other one much more modern, but this bike takes a lot of features from the MT-07, so it's another thing considered. Does the price weigh up the option to have the retro style that you remember from yesteryear? Overall, it's a good looking bike, it sits well, it's very comfortable, the engine's superb, the braking system's going to be more than adequate, you know, so I'd say pricing wise well justified when compared to its competitors, even though they are slightly cheaper. Right, with pricing out the way, it's time to have a look at some competitors, and I have two competitors for you. So here we go, and we're going to have a look at our first competitor. Our first competitor is the Suzuki SV650, and it starts at 8,795 euro. Excellent engine on, it's got a V-twin engine developing 75 horsepower. It's also got decent fuel capacity of 14.5 litres. Good display, it's got a multifunction full LCD display. It also features the Suzuki Easy Start system. The engine is really good on this one. Expect excellent braking performance. 290mm discs on the front with ABS. A really good quality bike and a worthy competitor to the XSR700. Our next competitor is the Kawasaki Z650 RS. Starts at €10,950 as our most expensive bike here. It has a 649cc displacement parallel twin, developed 68 horsepower. It's got disc brakes on the front, 300mm. It's got a great dual dial instrumentation, which looks fantastic. You've also got that back link rear suspension. You've got ABS, assist slipper clutch. You've got a really good quality motorcycle here, and definitely a worthy competitor to the XSR700. Right, it's time for the verdict. The XSR700. The original was introduced in the 70s, known as the XS650. You can see where this bike has come from. If you look at its DNA, we can take the original bike through. We can see where they've taken a lot of its design, from even the telescopic angle of the forks to the way the tank is designed, the way everything's put together. It really is a really good modern retro classic bike. So if you love the original 70s Yamaha bikes, this is definitely something you're gonna like. Also, the way the build quality, everything's put together, it really is a well put together bike. They've taken a lot of design cues. If you have a look, they've got a lot of round areas that the original bike had, like a round cluster, round headlights, round tail lights over here. And even from the, if you look at the styling of the rear view mirrors, it kind of looks like they've taken that sort of vintage look on the arms here as well. It's a really interesting bike. And the same thing can be said about the handlebars. Like the seating position is super comfy, something you'd expect. Really long seats, something that you saw on the older bikes. They've really done well in relation to the overall design of the bike. And if you're in the market looking for a bike for 9,800 and you want that modern retro classic naked bike, whatever you want to call it, definitely visit Yamaha, check it out, and take it for a spin, see what you think, and also compare it with those two competitors. You might be surprised. Special thanks to Tig and his team here at Morans Bike Shop, who provided the Yamaha XSR700 for review. If you're currently in the market for a Yamaha, be sure to contact them. I'll put the details in the description. The dealership is located in the town of Drumshanbo in County Leitrim in Ireland. So be sure to contact them when you're in the market. Thanks for watching, everybody. Please like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye for now.